Self-employed, you will save at least 90% on your federal income taxes, and in 43 states no longer pay state income taxes. I started this in Arizona for 2021, 2022, and 2023. I personally saved 92% on my federal income taxes. Yes, I paid 8% and did not pay Arizona state income taxes. And now that I'm in North Carolina, I don't pay state income taxes.
Hi, this is Beyond the Listing with Sally Gimon. She is a real estate trust person with www.trustisyou.com. Sally teaches people all about trust and how to save you from legally not paying as much in U.S. taxes. Sally, thanks so much for talking with me today. Sally's been in the trust business since 2020, and she's been working this business since then and has been very successful. Sally, if you can tell me a little bit about how you got started and about what you do, we would love to hear how you can help people and what you do.
Thank you for having me, Pam. I became a real estate investor in late 2018 when my mom got sick. Long, involved story. October 2018 was my watershed month. I'm living in Phoenix. I'm a Medicare broker. My oldest nephew's getting married in Charlotte, North Carolina on October 27th. If you know anything about Medicare, it's open enrollment. Mm-hmm. I had requested the Friday before and the Monday after the wedding off because I had friends and family coming in from all over the world. They said no. Didn't like working as a Medicare broker and hated it even more than that. Second thing that happened, I'm driving to work, my 3-week-old brand new car, a Hyundai Veloster with a moonroof. You need that in Phoenix at night. I'm the second car through on a green light. Some idiot runs the red light, T-bones me on my passenger side. Thank God I'm not injured. He has no insurance. I have the paperwork. Don't even ask me about this. I have the paperwork sitting on my kitchen table because I have 4 weeks to fill it out and it's only 3 weeks old. So I'm upside down on an auto loan and I needed a second car. Third thing that happened, my mom and dad, who lived in Goodyear, Arizona, 25 miles west of Phoenix, drove to Charlotte for the wedding. My dad calls me Thursday before the wedding to say my mom's in the emergency room. They're not sure what's wrong. Don't change my flight. Still come in. I was doing a red eye. Still come in at 7:20 on the day of the wedding. Show up in Charlotte. My 2 nephews are there, my dad. We go out to IHOP for breakfast, a family tradition. The boys go back to the house. My dad takes me to the hospital. I walk in on the priest giving my mom last rites. I did not know my mom was that sick.
Oh my goodness.
She had septic of the blood or blood poisoning. It got into her pacemaker. They had to do open heart surgery, take out the old pacemaker, put in a new pacemaker. My dad, who was supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, stays in the Charlotte area with my mom for 9 months until she gets strong enough to bring her back. She was on a ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital 15 months. She literally woke up one morning because I opened up the window because it rained. She's from Ireland. She said, I love the smell of rain. I'm like, I know, Mom.
Oh my goodness.
But other than not having memory for 13 months, she was completely fine. It was a miracle.
That's miraculous.
The only thing she missed was the wedding, and thank God everyone had cell phone pictures because I was able to do things like that. But I was going out to their house every weekend because my dad didn't plan to be gone for so long.
Yeah.
The first week of December, a letter of 27 pages thick was my mom's Medicare statement. Emergency room and 1 month on a ventilator was going to cost $72,000. My dad's retired military, everything's being paid for. I'm standing in their kitchen. I have a mortgage. I have student loans because I went to graduate school.
Yeah.
I have 2 car payments and 1 car. I have credit card debt, and I hate my job. So I called my friend Glenn, who had invited me to a real estate meeting back in August of 2018, and I'm like, I need to change my life, and I needed to do it today. He said, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Get a $5 gift. Silly Sally got a lavender candle. I gifted it back to myself because guys in real estate don't want lavender candles, but I do.
Yeah.
And some food, and I met fellow real estate investors in Phoenix. In 2019, with my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum, I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide, paid off all my debt, $184,000 in debt, had $50,000 in the bank, and I'm a rock star in my real estate group.
Wow.
Woohoo!
That's amazing.
COVID strikes. My mom, who's from Ireland, we canceled a St. Patrick's Day party March 17th, 2020. I had 3 properties. I was the Bank of Sally. It was a note on the house. People paid me their mortgage. They didn't pay me on April 1st. I have no money coming in because I quit my job. And on April 4th, my CPA calls me and congratulates me and says, you made so much money in 2019. Your tax bracket went from 22% to 24%, and you owe the federal government $94,000 in short-term capital gains. I'm like, congratulations?
That's a big
I tell him I
stressor in
have
itself right there.
I'm like, this is not good. He knew I had $50,000 saved sitting in my bank account for because I thought that would be enough. He set up an appointment. We'll put you on a payment plan plus interest and things like this. I'm like, this roller coaster is just insane. There has to be a better way. Pam, have you ever heard of a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy?
I have not, but I get you speak it and it should come to fruition. Correct.
You put a thought into your head before you take a nap or go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, where am I going to
get out? Don't put negative because that'll come. If you speak good, it'll come for sure.
Exactly. Wake up 5 o'clock next day. I send a text to a friend who does HELOCs. I'm going to take a HELOC off my paid off house. Defeats the purpose of being debt free. And I remembered 3 or 4 years earlier, I had read a book about the Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. And I'm like, they save taxes. I want to find out how the Rockefeller save taxes because I want to save taxes. Yeah. It took me 5 months. In September of 2020, I started both my business trust and my beneficial trust with the law firm I now work for. Yeah. The gentleman, Ron, who sold it to me, I said to him, I want to teach other investors how to save taxes like I'm going to save it. So I became his affiliate.
Now, what kind of trust, I'm sorry, Sally, what kind of trust was that again that you put it into?
The full name, it's a mouthful. It's Irrevocable. Complex. Discretionary. Non-Grantor. Spendthrift Trust. All 5 elements are very important.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Irrevocable goes from, yes, it goes from generation to generation. Complex, it can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade. Actually, the law firm I work on behalf of has a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. So in 2026, it'll be 353 years old. So irrevocable, non-grantor. This makes the trust completely private. When you start the trust, you will have someone who will never be a beneficiary, someone who will never be a trustee, sign up to be the grantor or the settler on the trust, and then they sign themselves away. So I used a family friend. Roy knew me before I was born. He was my non-grantor. Unfortunately, he's passed away since then. But if someone tries to research my trust, they know it's based in Texas. That's where the law firm is. And that, unfortunately, Roy's passed away. They can't talk to me. And then the 5th element, spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and it's won both times. It's as legal can be. Unfortunately, if you ask your CPA or your financial advisor, they will probably tell you about the IRS memo that's dated August 3rd of 2023, where the IRS literally says they do not like tax code 643B, and they do not like the irrevocable, complex, discretionary, non-grantor spendthrift trust. The week before Christmas, I'm on TikTok, and 5 different people gave me the memo. I'm like, memo versus tax law. Tax law rules. Only Congress can change the tax code. I'm not trying to be political, but do you remember when Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were debating 12 years ago? And Hillary Clinton said to Donald Trump, you don't pay taxes? And he smiled at her and said, because I'm smart?
Yeah.
His father, Frank Trump, started the Spendthrift Trust in 1972 when the city of New York sued both Frank Trump and Donald Trump for discrimination. And there's a news article where Frank Trump says he'll never be sued again over anything. So our president is a trust baby.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's the smartest man.
Exactly. So there's 5 separate trusts, but the 2 major trusts I sell, the business trust is for anyone who makes 1099 income, a business owner, a franchisee owner, an entrepreneur, or a real estate agent, digital marketer.
Because I'm a 1099, so the business trust would be something that I would go into. Okay, so you're self-employed, that's what you would use.
Exactly. Self-employed, you will save at least 90% on your federal income taxes, and in 43 states no longer pay state income taxes. I started this in Arizona for 2021, 2022, and 2023. I personally saved 92% on my federal income taxes. Yes, I paid 8% and did not pay Arizona state income taxes. And now that I'm in North Carolina, I don't pay state income taxes. Pam, you're in Texas. Congratulations. You don't have state income taxes. You would just save 90% on your federal
That's
income
amazing.
taxes.
I think I'm in a very big tax racket, right? So anything that I can do to save on that would make me so happy.
Exactly. I don't know the rules for real estate agents just recently changed, but if you're selling a house for $700,000 and you make 3%, that's $8,000 right then for that one
Yeah.
house. And you do that 3 times in a year. You could be, I have several. I did a presentation for a broker in Chicago. He brought on his 7 real estate agents who all made over $100,000 in 2024. The lowest person who made $107,000 got to save $29,000 for all of 2025, and he's 27 years old. He's like, this is amazing. So there's Illinois state income
Sure. I
taxes
always
and
think
federal
of it
income taxes.
out of the percentage of the money that I make after I pay my broker and I pay my marketing and everything that I have to pay, then I have to pay the government. Out of the, let's say, 3% that I make, I bring out of that 1% or a quarter, 0.75% that I actually get to make. So anything that I can save on the tax end is something that I'm very much looking forward to.
And what you would do with your broker, you would just send a letter saying, hey, Joe Schmo, your broker, I changed bank accounts. Here's my new routing number. Here's my new account number. They don't need to know that you have a Spendthrift trust.
Sure.
How people would pay you, when you start the trust, you get a new EIN or employee identification number. We give that to you. And we give you a letter to go to the bank of your choice. Personally, I went to Wells Fargo because I had family living in Singapore, Alaska, and Poland. Don't even ask. But there's a Wells Fargo everywhere. My only problem with, because I'm single, Wells Fargo would not open up either the business trust bank account or the beneficial bank account because they're like, if you get hit by a school bus, what happens? I'm like, give me a week. I have to talk to my nephew. So if I die unexpectedly, my nephew who got married, he's the oldest nephew or niece I have, he's going to take over the trust. I can decide how much money I'm going to give to each one of my nieces and nephews. If I decide each one gets 1% and Gregory, the oldest, gets 93%, there's no infighting, there's no contesting the will or anything like that. But I'm a good aunt. I wouldn't do that.
I believe
But,
you always lay everything out. If you make the decisions ahead of time, and this is the way I work in real estate too, if you take care of everything at the front end, then there's no issues on the back end, right? So if you lay everything out here, then you have no issues on the back end. So take care of it here, no problems here. Everybody knows.
Exactly. So what's going to happen when you start the Spendthrift Trust, you're going to be filing a 1041 tax return. Pam, before we started this, you told me your husband makes W-2 income, so he will still file a 1040 tax return, but your license and your business comes out of your personal taxes, so his tax bracket will probably become less, and then you get to save the 90%, and you have access to this money with a debit card, and you can go into the bank and write a check, do whatever you like on that. I don't know why Wells Fargo won't give me a credit card on my 2 bank accounts, but other banks give me credit cards, so I have 0% credit cards from other places. Right. If you sell your business, you're going to have to pay long-term capital gains. So that's the beneficial trust. Mm-hmm. The beneficial trust is for all investors. The 5 taxes you'll save, you'll never pay again: short-term and long-term capital gains when you sell something at a profit, interest income taxes if you are a passive investor, dividend income taxes if you're in the stock market, rental income taxes if you're a real estate investor, and royalty income taxes if you have talent or if you're an NFT, if you have NFTs. Mm-hmm. Personally, I have wholesaled 28 properties in my trust, paid 0 in capital gains. I have a crypto bot between Ethereum and Bitcoin. I get paid 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents every single day, about $50 a day. Don't pay capital gains on that. My friend Glenn, who brought me into the real estate group, he does my options trading for me because I can't sleep. I don't know if you know anything about options trading, but I don't like it. But I don't pay capital gains on that. I have 5 seller financing houses where that's interest income taxes. I have 3 rentals, that's rental income taxes. I don't pay taxes on any of that. It's just an amazing
So
thing.
you've been
And,
doing this
you know,
since 2020, and you didn't know too much about it. So for the layman people that want to get started in this, you didn't go to school for this. You didn't have too
no,
much knowledge in it. It was just something that you came upon, found that you liked it, enjoyed it, was obviously great at. So
correct.
if you, number one, starting a trust, they could reach out to you to get more information on it, or you could tell them where to go. So a beneficial trust for somebody that wanted to start investing, a business trust for somebody like that is 1099, somebody like me. Is there, if it was, so let's say something for like my husband, right, that's trying to avoid paying taxes, is there something for them to do?
Unfortunately, W-2 income
Uh-huh.
earners, they get their taxes taken out before they get their
So
paycheck.
not really anything for them.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, with when you file a 1040 tax return, you can take up to 20% of your taxes in deductions. Your home office, your cell phone, your real estate agent, you're using your car to drive clients to meetings, things like that. But other than that, I cannot help W-2 income
W
earners.
two. Yeah.
Correct. Google just did this for a presentation I did in Arizona. Google says 40% of W-2 income earners have a side hustle. Maybe they're a digital marketer, maybe they're selling, doing something. That usually when you have a side hustle, that is 1099 income. And now the federal government says if you make more than $600 in a year with your side hustle, let's say you're eBaying or you're doing something like that, you've got to start paying taxes on
Sure.
that. With the Spendthrift Trust, we would take that out of your personal taxes, put it into the 1041 tax return, and you get to save, you'll still pay a little bit, let's say 10%, 8% federal taxes, and no state income taxes, but that money is yours to put back into your business, pay off your mortgage, buy a new vehicle, take your family on vacation, give to your favorite charity, save for retirement. You can do whatever you like with that money.
Okay. It's a matter of being knowledgeable about most of it and how to go around it.
Exactly. I call it the secret of the rich because the rich people know about
Sure.
this. Regular people like ourselves, we don't. I read this book and I'm just 3 or 4 years earlier, and I'm like, why did I do? I was a W-2 income earner at the time. I couldn't do anything about it. And when I got a tax bill of $94,000 and only had $50,000, I was devastated. I'm gonna be honest. I cried myself to sleep that
Yeah.
night.
That would be frightening for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, what is the name of the book again?
The book, the Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and then the book I read used to be called What the Rockefellers Do. Unfortunately, Garrett Gunderson had to change the name to it. It's now called What the Billionaires Do. If someone reaches out to me and wants a PDF copy of that book, I can send it to
Oh,
them.
wonderful.
And it's, again, this is a secret of the rich. I also have a free class. Have you heard about the Great Discovery?
I have not.
My brother's a Six Sigma. My brother's not a computer programmer. He's the one that makes all the computers talk to each other. So he's a black belt with Six Sigma. It's their fourth. It's like Kajabi or school. So I have a free class on the Great Discovery. If you just go to www.sallygimmonsquishtogether.com, sign up for a free learner. You're going to get, it's called Save U.S. Taxes Legally. You're going to get a presentation. You're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I did not write. Somebody else in Forbes magazine wrote about this. And then you're going to get 2 pages of case law that all the cases that prove this trust is legal.
Yeah.
And then examples of my clients saving, here's businesses saving taxes, and here's investors saving
Sure.
taxes. And my goal is teach this to as many people. It's not a necessity, but it's a want Learn from the rich.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. They obviously do these things for a reason, right? They don't want to pay
Yes.
taxes. Obviously, you don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay taxes, or I want to pay as little taxes as I possibly can, right?
This is a true story. Here in North Carolina, they charge you excess taxes when you buy food. 2% for your food tax, but I love ice cream. My ice cream gets taxed at 7%. I'm like, I'm still going to eat my ice cream. Heck with you. If I don't have ice cream, it'll all be at 2%. Before Christmas, I stopped at Chick-fil-A. Love Chick-fil-A. I got 4 sandwiches and 4 crisscross fries, and I'm driving home and I'm stopping at a red light. I'm like, that was expensive. I pull out the receipt. I got charged $12.95 for takeout charges because I didn't eat in the restaurant. Now, if we're going to go to Chick-fil-A, we're eating in Chick-fil-A because I don't want to pay takeout charges.
That's amazing. That's an
Yes,
outrageous.
I thought so too. I'm like, what? I just moved here to the Raleigh area, and it's something in Wade County. I'm like, I guess they want us to eat in the restaurant and not eat in our cars and cause accidents or something. But I'm taking it home.
For sure. Or
So
next time, get it in
I
the
still pay
restaurant and then
taxes
take
for
it
other
to go.
things. Exactly. Gas tax, food tax. Even if you go to the movies, you pay taxes. But you're not tax free. You're just saving very specific taxes. Like you're in Texas, Pam. One of my clients who has a beneficial trust, a real estate investor, inherited his granddad's horse farm in Oklahoma. Loves horses. He goes out to the farm and there's 6 working oil wells. The money coming from the oil wells goes through what's called the Mineral Rights Trust. So if you've got shale rights, oil rights, coal rights, or anything like that. There's a charitable trust. One of my clients, have you heard of a company called Moderna? It's
No.
an affiliate group
No.
that they sell weight loss.
Oh, yes.
He's in upstate New York. He has over 600 clients and all these affiliates under him. He started a charity. His wife, Jenny, she was a Vietnamese boat person when she was 6 years old, came to the United States with nothing but the clothes on their backs. So they started a charity to help immigrants get pots and pans, get clothes, get sheets and things like that. And he's just, I want to give back to my community.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's amazing. This is also interesting. I could go on, but
Ask me any questions.
I I love this. Again, not saving money on taxes is a wonderful thing. And what's the first step to getting into the trust?
Honestly, set up an appointment with me. You'll go out to my free class on the Great Discovery, learn a little bit more about this. When you do set up an appointment with me, it's a free tax breakthrough session. I take you out to a free website called www.nerdwallet.com to get the formula for federal taxes. Then we go out to Google. Like yesterday, I had a conversation with a gentleman who lives in Georgia, and we had to figure out the Georgia state income taxes to figure out how much he could save on both things. Afterwards, I send you an email with it all broken out so you know exactly what you're doing. I'm going to be honest, one trust costs $20,000 one-time payment. My first property in the trust, just so people know this, was a bank-owned reverse mortgage house. I paid for it for $20,000. I knew it was going to go to sale for $50,000. That $30,000 spread was going to be 24%, was going to be $7,140. When it finally went to auction after COVID, it went for over $64,000. Woohoo! Without lifting a hammer, I made $44,000.
Yeah.
But on that one property, I saved $10,368 in capital gains, and I just reinvested it into more real estate. I'm trying to build my empire little at a
Little at
time.
a time, and you didn't have to pay after you paid that 94,000. You've never had that same tax bill again.
Exactly. And learn from my mistake, learn from my lesson, I should say, because I knew about capital gains. I thought I had enough saved. I didn't realize my tax bracket would change. Oh, can I tell you one story, Pam,
Yeah,
please?
please.
Very quietly, there's 4 ways to file your taxes. Single's the most expensive way. Head of household, you're a single parent with children 18 or younger living at home. Married, filing separately. And married, filing jointly is the cheapest
Yep.
way. Quietly, on January 1st of 2025, the IRS changed married filing separately to match single, the higher tax bracket, so they can make more money. And people are like, why'd they do that? I'm like, the IRS can do whatever they want. It's scary.
Yeah, that's amazing. quietly they do a lot of things.
Correct. One of my clients lives in Texas, just like you do. She's a digital marketer. In the first 5 months of 2025, she made $100,000 doing digital marketing. Great for her. Her CPA told her husband has a W-2 job. She's doing 1099, file separately. I showed her in July just the difference. If they filed jointly, they would save over $5,000 in federal income taxes, even without going with the trust, just because instead of filing separately, they're going to file jointly. And she's just like, that's extra money that we can, they got 2 kids that they buy food or buy toys for or something.
Sure. Again, if it comes back to you, it's great. I don't want to say the government, I want to support my government for sure. I want to support my country for sure. I just want them to be careful with my money like I am. And
have you ever driven the New Jersey Turnpike?
no, absolutely not.
I drove from Charlotte up to New York to do a presentation, and I got gas in Delaware. I get on the New Jersey Turnpike. I paid $21.95 to drive a New Jersey Turnpike. There were potholes bigger than my car on the turnpike. I'm like, what am I paying y'all to be on this turnpike? Shouldn't there be a nice road to do that? But yeah. My dad, retired military. I served 2 years in the Peace Corps, loved it. I'm not anti-American. If the rich can do this, why can't the regular people do this?
For sure. Yeah, I agree with you. So you touched on it just a few minutes back, but you said it's about did you say about $20,000 to start a trust?
Correct. Most of my clients have one trust or the other. I do have both trusts. The business trust, I have 3 online businesses where I get paid 1099 income. And then I have my beneficial trust that makes a heck of a lot more money than my business trust. So one trust is $20,000. If you decide you need both trusts, it would be $17,000 for the second trust.
Okay.
Again, when we have the conversation, we will tell you what it is. One of my clients, this is a true story, somebody contacted me. She's in the military in Georgia. Her father unfortunately passed away. He had 3 paid off houses, and he left the 3 houses to her and her 2 brothers. She has 2 short-term rentals. Her mom has 5 short-term rentals and all this stuff, and she's thinking they need separate trusts. The entire family is under one EIN number. The Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust is 7 generations old, has over 400 people under the same EIN number.
Right.
There's actually 15 vehicles on this one trust, but each individual files a separate 1041 tax return, if that makes sense.
So one EIN number, 15 separate 1041 tax returns. So you can be separate under the same trust. Okay.
Correct. So there's the woman who contacted me, her 2 brothers, her mother, and the mother's boyfriend are all under the same EIN number, all doing their own real estate, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you can split that trust up in between the whole family. If you're thinking that $20,000 is a lot, but it can be spread out between people. And if it's going to save you $93,000,
easily.
Not very much money at all.
I did a subject to real estate deal up in Charlotte. The family, I'm not making fun of them, they didn't pay their mortgage for 18 months during COVID, so instead of having a 30-year mortgage, they now have a 32-year mortgage. The real estate agent that they talked to, 2 boys, 2 dogs, the dogs had peed on the carpeting, the house was lived in. He wanted them to redo the kitchen, all these different things. They're like, we're moving in less than a month to Houston, Texas for my job. We don't have time to do this. So I said, hey, let me do this as subject to.
Now this was a pre-foreclosure, right?
Pre-foreclosure, yeah. Correct. So they're on the list. Pre-foreclosure, you don't know why they're on the list. Maybe they missed a payment, maybe something. Foreclosure, they have 90 days to get out, or the sheriff's coming to throw their stuff on the sidewalk. So my real estate agent up in Charlotte gave me the list. In my county, 224 people are pre-foreclosure. So it's subject to, the movers come in, pack them up. I told them leave it room ready. I went to all the neighbors in the area. I gave them the list of 19 items that the real estate agents had to get changed, and I had a price. It was going to be over $200,000 that they have to do to make it after repair value, ARV. And they didn't have time. And I'm not making fun of the husband and wife, but they were keeping up with the Joneses and living paycheck to paycheck. I said, I'm having open house on this day. Please come in, see the carpet where the dogs peed on it, see where the kids drew on the walls. The house is not perfect.
Sure.
My real estate agent did a open house for 2 hours. The family that bought the house, a very good school district, a great high school. The woman walks in, I smelled dog. But yes, the dog peed on the carpet. We got in a bidding war. The family that moved to Texas got $50,000. They got a ding on their credit history because it wasn't a foreclosure. They were just late on it. The real estate agent who brought in the family who bought the house made 3%. My real estate agent who had a 2-hour open house made 3%. I made an extra $140,000 on the deal. In that 24% tax bracket, I saved over $36,000 on that one deal. I couldn't ask for a better deal
So
than
a
that.
win-win basically for everybody. These people didn't go through foreclosure.
Everybody.
Didn't ding their credits
Wife-
badly. The bank won because it didn't go to foreclosure. You won because you made some money, and the agents won. And the people buying the house won.
Exactly. My wife is telling me I was going to let it go to foreclosure and we're going to live in an apartment for until we got money. And I'm like, here's $50,000 put on a down payment wherever you're going to live in Houston. And she's just, that's amazing. And I was open. They knew how much money I made, but she goes, you got us out. She called it a pickle. She goes, we were going to let it go to foreclosure because we couldn't fix the 19 things that were wrong with the house. We had to leave very quickly. And I'm like, this is exactly win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I used to do foreclosures and pre-foreclosures and short sales, and it was amazing some of the reasons why these things happen, and then they
Yes.
didn't think that they had a way out. And if you just spoke to somebody, most of the time it could be taken care of. So anyways,
That's my goal as a real estate investor. I want to give a solution to someone. So like my first seller financing house here in North Carolina, it's called Upset Bids. The family who moved in, they moved down from Long Island. She's a 1099 income earner. Husband is starting a brand new job. They can't get a loan. I said, this is July of 2025. I'm like, put $20,000 down. It's going to come off I got the house because it was a foreclosure for $156,000. Zillow says it's worth $365,000. I sold the house to them for $310,000. They have 2 years to pay $2,000 a month for the seller financing.
Yeah.
In July of 2025, they had an option: either get their own mortgage, the $20,000 and the $2,400 all come off of $310,000.
yeah,
So they have equity in the house. They pay me another $20,000, or they move out. They're like, we've fixed our credit, we got everything else. We want to get our own mortgage. I'm like, win, win, win for everybody.
that's amazing. That's fabulous. That's great.
Correct. And when I do seller financing, I give them a 1-year warranty on everything in the house. I'm like, the toilet backs up, you're responsible. The furnace cuts out, you're responsible. We're going to be buying this house. I'm the bank. I don't want someone calling me at 2 o'clock in the morning. To me, that's
I am here just before the money. That's all I'm doing. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
lazy.
So you know what you're getting for sure. This has been very enlightening. Sally, can you tell me where we can find you?
I appreciate that. My main website is a squeeze page, www.thetrustisyou.com. When you go out there, you're going to get a presentation. You can set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. I also have an affiliate link. One of my biggest groups I work with are business brokers. When you sell a business, I just worked with a husband and wife who are selling their hardware store down in Atlanta. They started it from scratch. They sold it for $3 million. Wow. I don't know if they're going to pay 15% or 20% in capital gains, but on April 15th of 2026, they will save either $450,000 at 15% or $600,000 at 20% because they start the trust. The gentleman who bought the hardware store knows that they had made from the books and everything, they made over $220,000 last year. He started the business trust, so he's going to save 90% on federal income taxes and then not pay Georgia state income taxes. And the business broker who brought the two people together got to make an extra $2,000 on the deal. There's my affiliate mark thing there. And then if you go out to my free class on the Great Discovery, my first name and my last name, squishtogether.com, you'll get the presentation. You'll get 3 articles from Forbes magazine, 2 pages of case law and examples because when I try to send that out to everybody on email, I kill people's email addresses. So that's why I've got this other class set up
Okay,
for them.
so that's awesome. So www.thetrustisyou.com and then
Correct?
www.sally, Sally, I'm sorry, Gimon,
Correct?
GIMON.com, correct?
Correct? Correct.
Okay, and then you had one more, and I'm so sorry I did not write that one down. What was the third one?
The third one, it's just if you want is
Uh-huh.
www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. And again, when you go out to thetrustisyou.com, you'll see how you can set up an appointment.
Okay, that's awesome. And they can get in touch with you through any of these, set up an
Correct.
appointment, get some great information, and then they can also go to your webinar that you're having.
I have a webinar. If you're on LinkedIn, my last name is very unusual. If you find anybody the same last name, we're related somehow. But every Monday night at 5 p.m., I do a live webinar, and then I repost it on Facebook. I repost it on, it doesn't go to, it's too big for Instagram, but I post it on TikTok and other places. I'm on every social
So
media
you're
with my
on
first name and my last.
TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Instagram. What else am I on?
You're just
Instagram
all over the place, Sally.
and Twitter. Oh, it's the same. I say the same thing day in and day out. So yeah, it's boring, but it's amazing when someone reaches out to you and starts finding out. Someone I talked to this week, she's selling her house. She bought it for $110,000 up in Maryland, and she's going to sell it for $1.9 million.
Amazing.
I wish I did something like this.
I,
When it's your own
I
personal
I
house.
think your goal is that you've had so much success with this, and that's amazing since you've only been doing it since 2020, and you've had so much success with this that you want to share that success with other people, and you want to keep them as safe and secure as you have been throughout this process. Yeah.
Exactly.
And just a
It,
matter of
it, it just
paying it
it's
forward.
just people. Exactly, paying it forward.
Yeah. Yeah. What you put out is what you get back. I totally believe that.
I honestly believe that we were talking earlier about positive thoughts and negative thoughts. It does make a complete difference.
Yeah, that's what I believe. If you put it out, it's going to come back to you. Not to get philosophical, but God is good all the time. And if you put it out, it'll come back.
I believe that this is a true story. One of my nieces went to a private school and she's working for a county government in California making $35,000 a year. I started helping her pay her student loans because she was broke. Last Christmas, she tells her two sisters, Aunt Sally's paying my student loans. I'm like, oh, thanks a lot, Samantha. So now I paid 4 of my nieces and nephews' student loans, and I'm like, okay, if I can help them, because my parents paid for me to go to college. I think I could afford sending someone to school right now. It's so
Yeah,
expensive.
for sure. And if you can, why not? And it
Exactly,
makes you
exactly.
happy, why not?
I keep telling you I'm your favorite aunt. They're like, you're our only aunt. I'm like, yeah, I'm still your favorite. But Pam, thank you for having me on your podcast. Again, if real estate agents, if I have several $1 million real estate agents as clients, because they know how much they're paying in taxes, and they're like, wow, if they can save some money, that's an important thing.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea, if you make $100,000 gross per year, you'll save 5 figures in taxes, no matter if you're in Texas or if you're in Vermont paying state income taxes.
That's amazing. If you're up in your bracket, you should totally consider it because on the upside, it's going to help you year after year, and it'll help. It'll go through generational as well. Correct? Because you said you had one that was
Exactly.
350 years old.
Correct. In 2023, the Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust, 7 generations old, 400 people under the same EIN. I mean, it. I'm going to be honest. It's an amazing document. The law firm I work on behalf of was started by a Harvard law professor. In 77 years, not a single trust has ever been audited. Now his grandson and great-grandson run the law firm. They stand behind those numbers. If you get questioned by the IRS, they'll defend you free of charge. In 77 years, it's happened one time only, and of course they won, and they're like, we're here to help you. And I'm very confident in the product I sell,
Yeah.
and I know I know the people in the law firm are there to help my clients.
So be like the Rockefellers. Check into it.
Be like the Rockefellers or be like President Trump. Be a trust baby.
That's right. Be a trust baby. Just don't act like one. So, Sally, it's great talking with you today. And be sure to reach out to Sally, www.thetrustisyou.com, and Sally, SALLYGIMON.com. And be sure to check her out on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, X. I think it's X now.
Mine says Twitter.
Yeah, so you've been on there a while, and she has a live on every Monday. So check her out. Sally, it was great talking with you today.
Thank you, Pam. Have a beautiful
All right,
2026.
you too. Bye-bye. There's always more happening beyond the listings. Stick around and catch the next episode for real talk and insights that help you move smarter and farther in real estate.